everyone. Leandria Johnson finally exposing Jonathan McReynolds has sent shockwaves through the gospel music world, because for years both artists have been admired not only for their undeniable talent and anointing, but also for the honesty they brought to their craft. And yet rumors and quiet fears have long circulated beneath the surface of the industry. Whispers that there were truths being hidden, tensions being ignored, and dynamics that fans and even some insiders were too afraid to confront. And now with Leandria stepping forward and putting it all into the open, the conversation has exploded into one of the most talked about moments in gospel music in recent memory. To understand the gravity of this moment, we have to look at who Leandria is. A powerhouse vocalist, a winner of Sunday Best, and someone who has never been afraid to share her struggles with addiction, brokenness, and redemption. A woman who has consistently been raw in ways that many artists in gospel shy away from, refusing to sugarcoat her journey or hide behind church platitudes. And then we look at Jonathan McReynolds, celebrated for his vulnerability, songwriting, and ability to bridge gospel and contemporary soul. A man whose clean image, humble demeanor, and reputation for being the safe artist in the gospel community have made him both beloved and, at times, placed on a pedestal so high that any hint of imperfection could shake the faith of those who follow him. For years, fans whispered about the tension between authenticity and image, wondering whether Jonathan's spotless presentation could truly reflect the complexity of human life, and whether Leandria's transparency, often criticized for being too raw, clashed with the carefully curated way Jonathan was often presented. And those whispers grew louder whenever the two crossed paths musically or in conversation. What Leandria has now exposed is not only the private truth about Jonathan's struggles and contradictions, but also what so many in the industry feared, that the gospel world, like any other, is vulnerable to facades, and that the pressure to appear perfect can create cracks in even the most talented individuals. In her revelation, Leandria reportedly opened up about conversations, moments, and behaviors that paint a more complicated picture of Jonathan. Not to destroy him, but to remind the world that no one, no matter how angelic their voice or uplifting their lyrics, is immune to human frailty. She made it clear that for too long people have placed leaders, singers, and preachers on pedestals so high that when they stumble, the fall devastates not only them but those who idolize them. And she expressed frustration at the hypocrisy in a church culture that crucifies some for their honesty while celebrating others for their polished image, even when behind closed doors the realities may not align with what is projected publicly. Her words echoed the long-held fear that Jonathan, like so many artists before him, has been burdened by unrealistic expectations, and that his private life has carried struggles that, if fully revealed, could shift how people see him and perhaps how they see themselves. Fans were left torn, some outraged that Leandria would speak so openly, others applauding her for refusing to play along with the silence that too often keeps people trapped in cycles of secrecy and shame. For 30 to 40 minutes we can unpack this moment, tracing the history of Leandria's boldness, Jonathan's rise to fame, the unspoken fears in the gospel community about transparency and image, and the larger implications of what it means when truth finally comes to light. We can reflect on the reality that Leandria's exposure is not merely gossip, but a call to the church and the gospel industry to stop hiding behind masks, to allow its artists to be human, and to stop demanding perfection in a way that suffocates the very people who are meant to inspire. The fallout of this revelation will no doubt ripple for months to come, raising hard questions about honesty, accountability, grace, and the role of gospel music in telling the truth about life. Not just the pretty parts, but the messy, broken, and difficult parts as well. Whether fans choose to condemn or support Jonathan after this exposure, what Leandria has done is force a reckoning, one that compels us all to confront what we feared but perhaps already knew, that behind every song of faith is a human being wrestling with the same struggles as the rest of us. And maybe, just maybe, that truth is what gospel was always meant to be about. Thanks for watching.